Today I'm going to be making a very special meal. I'm going to be putting together a Christmas dinner right at $15. So if you're in a situation this year that you really just maybe have overspent for Christmas, or you have other obligations that have come up that are maybe taxing you to the point where you don't feel like you can have like a nice Christmas dinner, I'm going to show you a way that we can do this right at $15. Now this might be up or down a little depending on where you live in the country, but this is going to be a very good idea to give you some ideas about how to do this. So I found some leg quarters on sale today for 77 cents a pound. So I bought a 10-pound bag of them. I'm going to be making some roasted leg quarters of chicken. I'm going to have some au gratin potatoes. I'm going to have a beautiful dish of zucchini and carrots. I'm going to have some flaky biscuits. And we're also going to be having a really special dessert. So I hope that you'll join me today. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Maybe it'll give you some ideas so that you're not so stressed over Christmas. And let's just jump into it. So we're going to start off first by getting our cake baked. That's going to be our special dessert that we're going to be making. And I'm going to show you a way that I can spruce up this cake and make it really special for Christmas. Now you could also do cupcakes if that's something easier for you. For me, I'm going to do a cake. I've got the grandkids coming tomorrow, so they're going to be thrilled when they see a delicious cake on the counter. So I'm not going to be using 10 pounds of chicken. I just don't need that much. I'm going to make this for a family of 4, but you could definitely make this for more people if you wanted to. Probably keep it under $20. And so I'm going to show you a final cost breakdown because I am going to need a couple of eggs. And so I'll show you how much every single penny of this costs me when we're all done. All right, so we're going to add our cake mix. This is going to take a cup of water. It's going to take a half a cup of oil. Now it requires 3 eggs, but it also says you can substitute 1/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt, or instead of the oil, you can use a half a cup of unsweetened applesauce. I'm going to go ahead and use the oil. But I'm thinking I might substitute 1/4 of a cup of just plain Greek yogurt for this instead of the eggs. So here's my 1/4 of a cup of yogurt. And I'm thinking I might put 1 egg in with that instead of the 3. Well, you go ahead and use 1 egg with our yogurt. Just another way to keep the cost down. So we're going to go ahead and mix this up. All right, so all we're gonna do now is just put our cake mix into our pan, just like this. So a bun pan, we're gonna bake this for 39 to 43 minutes at 350 degrees. So the next thing we're gonna be doing is a rub for our chicken because we are gonna be roasting our chicken. Now, I have seasonings. I'm not accounting for these either because I grow these in my herb garden. And most people do have some kind of seasonings on hand. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon of my homegrown herbs. It's oregano, parsley, rosemary, and basil. And I actually might put in a couple tablespoons of that. I'm going to put in about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to put in some garlic powder. I like garlic, so I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of garlic powder. Now I've also got some of this original seasoning. This is the salt-free seasoning blend from Mrs. Dash. It's the copycat one, but we're going to put some of that in there. About a tablespoon. And I'm also going to put in some paprika, a nice healthy tablespoon of paprika. maybe a tablespoon and a half. I love paprika, so that's gonna work out good. I normally put turmeric powder in, but I'm out at this time. But I am gonna add about a teaspoon of seasoning salt instead of salt. I'm gonna use seasoned salt. And that's it. I'm just gonna mix this seasonings together. Boy, those smell wonderful. Now, if you've got, some little pots in your backyard, or you've got room to have a little herb garden, that can save you a ton of money. I've always got fresh herbs, dried herbs. I just try to make sure that I always have that on hand because, it saves a lot of money not having to buy a lot of this stuff. So the next thing that we're gonna do today is we're gonna start prepping our chicken. So this will take a few minutes, but it's really easy. Some of this I'm gonna go ahead and put in the freezer because I don't wanna cook 10 pounds of chicken today. So let me show you how much I'm going to use and how much I'm gonna freeze. So we have a lot of chicken. So this is a little gift that one of my subscribers sent me. It's these little bag holders. She wrote to me and said she got tired of watching me struggle with the bags, I think when I was canning. So all you do is you put your Ziploc bags right inside of these and they kind of clip on and keep everything open. And I find that this is super handy when I'm doing things like chicken, when I really don't want any of the chicken touching my hands or that kind of thing. So we're going to use these to put our chicken in the containers when we're done. But let me show you what we're going to do when we start here today. Okay, this is a heck of a lot of chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut up the ones initially that I'm going to be putting in the refrigerator. And I'm going to separate these by thighs and legs, just because that's how we eat them. All right, I'm going to clean all of these, but on the thighs, I am actually going to take the skin off and get any extra skin off of these thighs. Now on the legs, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it on. This is the way we usually eat our chicken. I just take that extra fat, and the reason I do that is because these thighs have a lot of fat in the meat, so I don't worry about this extra fat. I don't want to eat it, so that's what I do. Cut the tail off. And then all I'm gonna do is just get these little pieces of fat off, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean these before I package them up. So let me do all of this real quickly, and then I'll bring you back in a few minutes just as soon as this is done. So this is all of my chicken. I've got it all cleaned and got most of the fat off of it. There's still a little bit of fat, but I'm gonna separate the thighs from the legs. And then that way, when we want air fryer thighs or legs or something like that, we'll have them available. So this is one of the ways that I save money on meat, on things like this. I do a lot of this myself. I don't buy like 2 chicken breasts for $10. I don't find that really works for me. I find that if I buy the different pieces, I clean them, I skin them, I debone them if I want to, then I have all that at a very reasonable price. And if you're trying to cut down on the price of your food, preparing it is going to be a big way to do that. Another thing is, if you're somebody who doesn't really like touching chicken or beef or things like that, that's another good reason to get all this done ahead of time. Then when you take it out, you just don't have to mess with it. It's all cut into pieces. It's all ready to go. I mean, I've got a couple more meals out of this. I spent $7.70 on the whole thing, on all this 10 pounds of chicken. And I'm gonna get not only a meal for at least 8 pieces of chicken out of this for today, I'm also going to have 2 other complete meals for my husband and I. And then I've got my bags of chicken all ready to put in the freezer. So all I'm going to do is just take as much of the air out as I can. Sometimes I vacuum seal them, but these will be eaten pretty quickly, so I'm not going to bother with that. These are my thighs, and these are my chicken legs. And there you go. I'm going to throw both of these out in the freezer for another day, and then we're going to get started getting our chicken ready for today. So now I'm going to transfer my chicken into a nice big bag. I want something pretty sturdy, just like this. And this, I don't care if it's legs or thighs or what have you. I'm going to put all my seasoning over my chicken. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Wow, does it ever smell good? I mean, really good. All right, now all I'm gonna do is just stir this up together. I want to make sure all the chicken is coated with this seasoning. All right, so we've got everything coated really nicely with our seasoning. And I'm gonna show you how we're gonna roast this up in our oven. Now, if you were doing roasted potatoes, you could put these right in with the chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my chicken in here. Just like this. All right. So I've got my chicken all coated and ready to put into the oven. I'm letting it preheat at 350 degrees, and then we're gonna put our chicken in. If I need to drain any of the chicken while it's cooking, I'll do that, and then about 3/4 of the way through it, I'm gonna turn my chicken, and then I'm gonna show you how it looks when I turn it. I'd like to say thank you to my viewer that sent me these nice little bag holders as a gift. It was so thoughtful. If you're interested in having those same bag holders, I'm going to link them in my Amazon store. But we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven now, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to turn it. All right, so it's time to turn our chicken, and there is really no way to describe how good this chicken smells. It is unbelievable, the smell. So we are gonna just turn all these pieces over so that they get nice and browned on the top. Oh boy, this is gonna be a treat. If you're used to turkey and you wanna try something a little bit different and you're not used to really roasting chicken, things like that, give it a try. It's easy. You just kind of set it and forget it. Remember that commercial, set it and forget it? And so I'm going to go ahead and put this in for another half hour, and then we're going to check our chicken and see how it's doing. So I went into the bulk section of my grocery store and I bought some powdered sugar. Rather than buying a whole box of it, I only bought what I knew I was going to need today. So we're going to add a little bit of milk to this, and I mean little bit. Actually, I'm probably going to put some whipping cream in it, just because that will whip up a little bit. There's a higher butter content, and we're just going to whip this together. I have these gourmet food colorings. I'm gonna list them on Amazon. You're gonna see how bright these are when we start putting these together. All right, this is our red. I'm gonna add a couple drops of that. And I want some really nice green. So I've got two different colors of green. I've got one color which is just regular green. We're gonna try this first and then see if we need to add any grass green to it. So let's go ahead and stir up our red. And we're gonna stir up our green. I think the green is probably pretty close to the color I want for Christmas. So I'm not gonna add the grass green. We're gonna go ahead and keep them just like this. All right, now we're gonna put some frosting on our cake. Now you frost it any way you like. This is just how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna start off with my first layer of this, kind of this pinky frosting. Well, I should say red, because it is supposed to be a Christmas cake. So we're gonna put this all along the cake. All right, so we've got our red on. I'm gonna put a little bit of this kind of just in the middle here. Nothing real spectacular. I'm gonna plop it right on the middle of this, kind of like in little spoonfuls of green. Get ready for some magic. All I'm gonna do is take a wooden skewer and I'm just going to move this around so that I have all these different little curly cues coming in and out. I want to get the red mixed in with the green, just like this. If you have somewhere where there's frosting showing, simple. Just move this down. Now, for the very last thing we're gonna do to top our cake is we're gonna take a little bit of a peppermint stick, and all I wanna do is just break it up a little bit into little pieces. That's all there is to it. You're gonna take your pieces of peppermint, you're just gonna put them all over your cake. If you like peppermint, if you don't like it, obviously leave it off. You could use another candy, or you could just leave it right like it is. I mean, you don't have to do anything. It's a Christmas cake, so I just wanted it to look festive, but you do anything you like. Okay, I'm just gonna sprinkle it right over the top. And there is our Christmas cake. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the refrigerator, and then we'll be back with that when it's time to have dessert. So the next thing I've done is I've preheated my oven to 450 degrees. We're gonna be making some au gratin potatoes. And so all we're gonna do, this is kind of a little box mix. It's very easy, but it's very good. We're just gonna throw that into a pan, just like that. And we're gonna add our cheese sauce mix. To this, we're actually gonna add 2 cups of boiling hot water. We're gonna add some milk, just a very small amount. I bought some canned milk for this recipe, but if you have some regular milk on hand, feel free to use that, like so. And lastly, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna put it in our preheated oven, which is 450 degrees. And we're gonna cook this according to the directions on the box. My box says 25 minutes. We're gonna cut our carrot up so that it's parboiled. We want it in similar piece sizes that we're gonna have with our zucchini. So all I'm doing is just cutting the zucchini. I'm getting ready to put that in with the carrots. All right, I've got my vegetables cooking. I'm going to put some buttermilk biscuits in the oven for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to show you how we serve this. So the last thing I'm going to do to my vegetables, I've cooked up the zucchini and carrots. I added a small package of macaroni to this, and to keep it healthy, I'm not going to be putting oil or anything like that on it. All I'm going to do is add some lemon pepper seasoning. This stuff is good. It's a salt-free seasoning, so it just has a lot of really good flavors to it. This is good just with salt and pepper on it, honestly. Now, I let the vegetables cool for a few minutes. All right, my dinner is all done, so I am going to serve this beautiful chicken. So I'm gonna put together a thigh here. Now, if you wanted to make gravy, I just wanted to show you real quickly. There is plenty of juices from the chicken that will make a just really wonderful gravy. I didn't serve it with mashed potatoes this time, so I didn't make a gravy, but you could easily do that if you wanted to. I've got some vegetables here. This is the lemon pepper vegetables. I've got some scalloped potatoes. And a couple of big, beautiful buttermilk biscuits. And there you go, under $15. So this is a Christmas dinner that anyone could be proud of. Chicken, biscuits, scalloped potatoes, some vegetables and pasta with a gorgeous piece of Christmas cake. I'm serving mine with some iced tea, and there you go. That is dinner. So thanks for watching today. If you are on a budget, if you feel like you can't afford Christmas because you don't have more than $20 this year, you know what? There's always a solution. And maybe this isn't what you would choose. Maybe there's other types of foods you would, like to prepare. There's so many things out there. You just have to look through the sale ads, be creative. You can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please consider subscribing. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.